Hello, Year 5 and 6, and welcome to today's English lesson. Today's English lesson, we're going to be looking at grammar, and we know that this is really tricky when you're doing this at home on your own. So try your best. We're going to make through a variety of challenges, or I should say make way through a variety of challenges on the PowerPoint today. At certain times, I'm going to pause, and then this will be your chance to complete the challenges, just like we would do in class. Some will be 2 to 3 minutes, just like we're on a whiteboard. Others will be more 10 to 15-minute tasks. We actually have to focus and think about what you're going to do and what you're going to answer. So let's get on with our work and start sharing the presentation for today. So, as we can see, our learning question for today is, can I identify and use different types of pronouns? We're going to name 3 types of pronouns, use appropriate pronouns, and use pronouns as a cohesive device. Now, you might be thinking, what does a cohesive device mean? It just means that we're going to link sentences, or we might use it to link a paragraph and make our work not repetitive. So we're not using the same words over and over again. So, first one, can I name 3 types of pronouns? A personal pronoun. So that is personal to yourself. It can directly replace the noun in a sentence. And if we look at the examples below, things like, I like ice cream is my favourite food. Emily is going to play with the children. She is going to play with them. And if we look at the words in bold, Emily, children, she, them, these are words that can replace a noun in a sentence. A possessive pronoun. That's the second type of pronouns for today. And these are used to show who owns something or can be linked to an item. So those pens belong to me, which is a personal pronoun. Me becomes those pens are mine. Can you grab Abdul's coat, please? Abdul being the noun. Can you grab his coat, please? His being the possessive pronoun because it shows it's his thing that he owns. Our final pronoun we've done quite a lot of in Year 5 and 6 are our relative pronouns, and we know that these can be used up to make a main clause or a sentence on its own, or it can be used as a relative clause. And we can see here that the relative pronoun who has been used in a relative clause for the boy who has brown hair is called Daniel. The girl helped her friend when he fell, which was very kind. That is just a simple subordinate clause. So, how many different pronouns can you think of? I want you now to spend 1 minute with a pen and paper, just writing down as many pronouns as you can think of. Once you've done that, you need to come back and we're going to see if you got them all correct or if any of the ones that are on the PowerPoint you have also identified. So pause it now, write them down, and then press play when you're ready. Did you get any of these pronouns Year 5 and 6? Can you, for an extra challenge, group them into personal, possessive, and relative? So, moving on to now, another quick challenge. Again, jot them down on a piece of paper, or if you want to, you can tell a person in your house, maybe share it with your sibling. If you've got younger siblings in Year 1 and 2, you might even want to help them by looking at the personal pronouns because that is something that they're learning too as well. If you've got siblings in Year 3 and 4, they will need some recapping on possessive and relative pronouns, so you can help teach them as well. When you're ready, come back and we'll see if we got any correct. So, did you manage to group them? As we can see, the ones that are not pronouns are names of things. So these are nouns. We have a proper noun, which meaning it's a name of somebody or a place. And we've got object nouns as well. Orange, home, piano. Our pronouns, yours, himself, it, that, them, and him. we could use them to build a sentence. For example, that orange is awfully cold. Larry was not himself today. So, really important thing is for us to use pronouns to avoid repetition. So when we come to doing our writing next week, we're not repeating over and over again the same noun. Let's have a look here. What pronouns can you think of which might be able to be used to avoid repeating the word Gary? Gary ate his supper. When he got home, he enjoyed the food. And as we can see here, the supper has been replaced with another noun, and Gary has been replaced with the pronoun of he. So, can you spot the pronouns in this sentence? You don't have to write anything down. Have a look, see if you can work them out. If we look in the first sentence, Ash loves to play tennis. She is really good at it. We have the personal pronoun of she, and we have the pronoun it, which replaces the noun tennis. Peter went for a walk and he stopped when he arrived at the cafe. Well, Peter is the noun. We can see that he is the personal pronoun, which has replaced Peter, and cafe is also a name of a noun. But in this sentence, we're just looking at he. The flute is his, not ours, replied Thomas. And if we look here, we've got the possessive pronouns of his and ours, which have been used to replace the word flute. We taught ourselves how to play cards over the summer break. And again, finally, if we look here, can you find the pronouns? So, replacing nouns, pronouns can also be used to replace a noun. Let's have a look if you can get these ones. Have you found them yet? What pronoun would you choose? Let's have a look. The Queen wore a crown. It was very sparkly. When the Collins arrived, the Collins realised that their suitcase was not theirs. So, this is our first challenge. So this should take about 5 minutes. It would be like a whiteboard activity in class. I'm going to spin the wheel and we can see the picture here of the tsunami. I want you to use the pronoun that is selected, and can you create your own sentence? We're going to spin the wheel 4 times. See if you can write 4 simple sentences. First spin. Then. So the first sentence you need to write has to have the pronoun them. When you're ready, come back, press play, and we'll go for the second spin. Okay, second spin, here we go. I. So your second sentence needs to have the pronoun I. When you're ready, press play again, and we'll go for the third spin. Okay, everyone, third spin. Those. That is a possessive pronoun. So your third sentence, what are you going to do? Press pause and then press play when you're ready. Final spin, everybody. There. So your fourth sentence is going to have the pronoun there. Once you're ready, come back to the presentation, press play, and we'll carry on with our next challenge. So, as we can see now, challenge 1 is to complete the sentences by choosing the correct pronoun. This should take you roughly about 10 minutes. It might take you a shorter amount of time. It may be a little bit longer, but take your time and use this box here to select the pronouns that which are going to work in the sentence. So you need to fill in the blanks. For example, I'll help you with the first one. A. My sister brought a new coat last week. That coat is, and I'm going to think, am I going to choose a personal one? That coat is she, that coat is you, that coat is they. Well, none of the ones in this box seem to make sense when I read it back to myself. Let's try the possessive pronouns. My sister brought a new coat last week. That coat is hers. I think that one fits the sentence perfectly because we know that it is a female and it's a girl. And if you're a female and girl, your pronouns would be she, hers. So that coat is hers. Use the boxes of the personal pronouns and the possessive pronouns to fill in the blanks. When you're ready, press play again on the presentation and we'll go through to challenge 2. Okay, I fooled you year 5 and 6. Before we go through to challenge 2, it is now time for you to mark your work. So see if you got these correct. When you're ready, you can now press play and then we'll go through to challenge 2. So read the following passage of text. We are not going to write this text out. I want you to look at it and I'm going to press the timer down the bottom here. Once it reaches the end, that is the amount of time you have left. So see if you can read through it and in your mind, can you replace any of these nouns with a pronoun? An extra challenge, if you want to write it out when you think you have enough time, then feel free to pause and do it as a written activity, but you do not have to. Off you go. Coming up to a quarter of the way now, year 5 and 6. Looking through, Keenan took his dogs, Max and Suki to the local park. Can you think of a pronoun to replace that word Keenan? He took his dogs off the lead. Nearly at the end. So reread through it. Have you found all of the pronouns that you can replace? Do you need to replace every single noun? You don't want it so it doesn't make sense. Time's up, year 5 and 6. Let's see. Keenan took his dogs, Max and Suki, to the local park. Keenan took them off the lead there and Max ran forward. Keenan followed him, so Max ran faster and Keenan could not keep up with him. Eventually, Max stopped and he had to lie down on the floor. Keenan and Suki lay next to him so they could recover. So we can see that this example has replaced the words at times of Max and Suki for a possessive and personal pronouns. So, last activity, how many pronouns can you find in this piece of writing? Make sure that you can just either list them or if you would like to, just think to yourself now and we'll come back in about 10 to 20 seconds and we'll look if you got them correctly. Okay, year 5 and 6. Let's have a look. Did we manage to find all of the pronouns? And as we can see here, a lot of these are personal pronouns. Next week and later on this week, we're going to be looking at different types of writing. And next week, we're going to be writing our very own short story where we will be using pronouns to make sure that we do not repeat and we do not have too much repetition. That's it for today's lesson, year 5 and 6. Remember that you need to make sure that you need to turn in your work. And if you have been completing on a piece of paper, you can upload an image. We look forward to seeing everything that you've completed this Monday. Have a great day.